And from my Veni Vidi Coxy kitchen here at the Gingerbread Cottage, and today we are going to make some pasta sauce, some sugo, and we're going to can it. So here I have some a generous amount of olive oil. Started in a creuset pot, but you can use, of course, any other pot. Creuset lends itself really well for gas cooking because it's very heavy. It has a cast iron base. So I have 3 chopped onions, 2 celery stalks, and about 6-7 cloves of garlic in here, which I'm going to just sweat so they get soft. Just soften them. Okay. Here I have some ground water buffalo. It's still frozen, doesn't matter. And it's from Village Butcher here in Victoria in Oak Bay, which is a fantastic butcher, only uses local free-range animals, and usually from the island or from Salt Spring Island. So I have pork and I have water buffalo for a change. And we're going to put it into our pot frozen. So I'm going to cook it covered with the lid and wait until it's cooked down, and of course defrost it and then brown it a little bit. Just wanted to say, please do not go out and try and buy water buffalo. It's probably hard to get. You can use beef, you can use lamb, you can use whatever you want. You can even throw in some finely chopped leftover sausage or ham, whatever you have. I'm just doing, this is not a gourmet recipe, even though I know it's going to taste really good, and it's not a recipe I would put in a cookbook. This here is going through my fridge, seeing what I have, and cooking things up and then canning them, because it preserves them a lot better than having it in a freezer. As you know, when that electricity goes, your freezers go too, so it's nice to have some canned stuff. So this is just using up leftovers in my kitchen and things I bought. So use your own discretion. Yeah, it's very important to turn it over once in a while, scrape the top off. Yeah. And cook the next layer. So here you go. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, until the whole thing is done. Just to give you an example, here I have a little bit leftover peppers, sauteed peppers with garlic, onions, and tomatoes. I'm going to throw that in too. Yeah, should your stuff start to stick on the bottom a little bit, getting brown, add some water, turn off the heat, and let it sit for a moment, and then you can take it off. So now it's time to season. I added a little rosemary, whatever I had. I'm gonna add a tiny little bit, well, not a tiny, but a little bit of thyme. I'm going to add a generous amount of oregano, and then of course we need salt, and we need pepper, and I'm also adding some hot pepper flakes. Not too much, but a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a zing. And I'm going to add some chopped tomatoes. And I'm using canned this time, which I normally not do. But I'm going through my pantry and I'm using things up. So here you go. And maybe a can of tomato paste as well. So this is wonderful, looks fantastic. You also don't have to cook it that much because you're going to pressure can it. So there's a lot of cooking happening in the pressure canning. Here I found some grown out basil. You can see there's some flowers there, which needs to be snipped off anyway, because otherwise it doesn't produce more basil. So I throw that in, and a handful of parsley, fresh from the garden, and there you go. We have it. Wonderful sauce. I'm going to fill it into jars and then pressure can it. So as you can see, I have 10 jars of wonderful Sugo sauce, meat sauce, out of 2 pounds of meat, I guess it was, and it's quite hefty. And at the end, I threw some pasta into the pot, into whatever was left over, and here's my lunch. So we are going to come over here, and here's my pressure canning pot. I have pressure canned before, so I won't explain it, but I'm going to pressure can them in here, and then store them, label them, and store them in my pantry. Okay, enjoy cooking. We'll see you next time.